Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm your host, Bob DeMarco, and tonight we're going to have an open mic night. We're going to talk a little bit about custom knives. We're going to talk about some of the knives I've gotten. We're in my birthday season. I prefer to call it my birthday season. So knives are going to start coming in. So Dark Gravity, good to have you. So I'm going to start highlighting some of these. Professor EDC, good to have you, sir. Tonight, and we'll start off actually right now. We'll start off with a pocket check call out because I just want to get it out. I was carrying 3 knives all day long. One of them is the gifted to me by the Knife Whisperer, this beautiful Civivi Dogma, which I am so much fonder of than my Shredder, which is on the chopping block. I should say, which is on the sale block. And then the second one I was carrying today was this Victorinox fruit knife with a brand new sheath I made for it. It's one of these. It's a Picol. You take a fruit knife, you heat up the handle, you bend it a little, you put a little groove in it to index it for edge backwards, and you have the perfect little. Hey, good to have you, man. You have the perfect little get out of trouble device. But the cool thing about the sheath is, and I got this design from, can't remember who I got it from. David, good to have you, sir. But someone I saw online, and I will remember, and I will mention it next time. Caleb, good to have you, sir. And the cool thing about this is that as you pull it out, kind of like a wave, it uses your pocket to deploy. But as you come out, the sheath tugs on the inside of your pocket. And as you remove it, since the blade is oriented with the edge backward, it doesn't it doesn't cut your pocket as you pull it out. Boom, you have it. Oftentimes, if you have slanted pockets like in khakis or cargo shorts or whatever, the sheath will come flying out and land on the floor. So I'm going to put a little tether on it. But in jeans, it'll just kind of drop back down in. Kind of a cool thing and relevant because of the upcoming interview on Sunday. And then the third thing I had was, Kirby Lambert. I am a big Kirby Lambert fan, though I have none of his knives. But that will change at some point in my life. But I find them to be incredibly beautiful. Today I had my third in all custom knife, which I just bought in honor of my birthday. Jack Super Freak and a mini bug out. Oh, nice. Two different iterations of the, same iteration of the bar lock in Axis in the original form. Today I was carrying my attention to detail Mercantile Mark I, which is his large. This is the large. He has a large, medium, and small. This is Douglas Esposito. Look at that beautiful, beautiful micarta inlay. That's what got it. That's what got me when I first saw this on Instagram several weeks back. And then we had the Knife Town Hall, and he was on there and showed off a lot of really, really great knives. But I was like, you have that inlay knife. And no, he did not. Whoops, sorry about that. He did not, but he did have it in stock. And so I got it. I love this thing. And it reminds me of, right now it's in an early Praetorian phase where it's breaking in, it's getting smoother and smoother. It's on washers, and it's a flipper, and it is stout. That is almost 4 inches of blade and very, very wide. And Douglas does a beautiful hollow grind on almost all of his knives. The first knife I got from him was this beaut. Well, I'm going all the way to the end of the show, so I'll talk about these later. But yeah, that's what I was carrying today. I was carrying my new custom knife. Yeah, that's right, custom. That's a custom knife, baby. This draws in all the ladies, I'll tell you. Custom knife, man, they just come running. It's like having a Corvette. Carry a new off-grid Scorpion today. Off-grid knives, I've seen them quietly rise up on Instagram, and some cool designs. And I'm interested. I know some of them have been produced by We Knife Company. I'm not sure if all of them are, but yeah, interesting. 1988 Case Stag Trapper. I love me a case knife. I don't care what anyone says, but especially in the chrome vanadium, so you can get a nice patina on it. But also, those get sharper than their stainless steel, I believe. Hey, Dirk, how you doing? Had a Luther Orphan with me today and traded off with a Pole Force Mark I. Pole Force knives are so cool. Dietmar Pole designed some cool knives. And if it's the one I'm thinking of, Dirk, I think you got it recently. Yeah, that's a cool knife. I think it's about 4.5 inches. That thing is crazy, Bob. Hey, what would you expect? So to me, I think it's like a racing boat, right? It looks like a shark and a racing boat from the 50s to me. Something about it. Just a beautiful, beautiful knife. I'm very, very happy. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. It won't be until Monday, sir, so I am still a year younger than you think. Joe says, my heat seeker finally came in, and SOCOM Signature Series. Oh, God, I love the SOCOM. What is a heat seeker? Elaborate, please. Do love me a SOCOM, though. Al the Science Pal. Hey, how you doing? Skaha 2 in G10 today. That reminds me, one of my all-time faves. I reached out to them about a year and a half ago. They said, get back in touch in a year, and it's been about a half year since I should, so it'd be interesting to talk to them. Now their name escapes me, but father and son team making the Skaha out of Canada. Professor EDC. Hey, Bob. Good to have you, sir. Happy birthday, Season Bob. Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Okay, this was a big, and then I will show a little bit later what my brother got me, who always gets me really, really cool gifts. But I do know for a fact that my mom and dad have been listening, and they actually purchased the Bowie I've been interested in. And man, I mean, I've always known they're awesome, supportive, great parents, but let me tell you, that's pretty cool. They listened, they heard, and they got it. And it's going to be the V44 Bark River Bowie with the micarta, green micarta handle in the Moran style. So that's sort of the contoured horse hoof style. Kane says, hi, everybody. Got my brown LHCX and Medford Slim MIDI S90 variant. S90V. What is a brown LHCX? I'm feeling a little behind the times. I mean, that's nothing new. Ask my daughter. She always claims that she taught me how to use my iPhone 11. But tell me what that knife is. Elaborate. That's the second time. See, I am out of touch. Joe says the Tashi Barucha Riat. Tashi Barucha, I love his designs. They are beautiful. Never held one in my hand. They look comfortable in most grips. But to me, like, that man is an artist and a real, I don't know, connoisseur of life, because he's a Frenchman. But really, when you see how he has himself set up, you know what I mean. Plains Crafter says, I don't know if a person who carries a Kaiser Mini Sheepdog can keep watching a show about customs. Hey, sir, I was carrying a $9 fruit knife with me all day. Like, I go from this to this to bam. I mean, this is only my third one ever, and I'm not a total convert, because I can't hoard quite as many custom knives as I can production knives, but my love spans the gamut, period. I have a little bowl here full of cheap slip joints that I love. Look at this little precious Schrade. Just wiped it down with isopropyl, if you know what I mean. And so, yeah, I like all sorts of knives. So stay tuned. Bony Blades. I've got a LeGill in Damascus and olive burl my wife just bought me on vacation. Love that woman. That is classy, with the little bee on where your thumb goes, and it I don't have anything like that around me, but I love those knives. I had a boss, may she rest in peace, 15 years ago or so, who was a very, very classy woman. She was British through Singapore, and she was Chinese, and everything was Robert, this and that. And for her birthday one year, I got her a LeGill, because I'm like, this woman needs, I mean, because she would use it, she'd get feisty with it if she needed to, but also she might be caught cutting brie or something like that. So I got her a LeGill, same thing. I got it with, I think it had this kind of handle, the tortoiseshell. Yeah, classy knife, Boney. Love it. So, yeah, I've had today on me, high-end, mid-range, and total bargain basement. But this thing this is cool. We'll talk about it more. I've been talking about this edge in thing recently, but how about I move on from that? All right, so Patreon. I just want to thank our good friend Stu from Stone and Steel up in Vermont. Excuse me. If you remember Stu, he was our first guest on the first town hall, I believe. And he has a knife selling outfit up in New England. He goes to gun shows, sells to law enforcement officers and such. And he's a great guy, great supporter of the show. On that first show, he donated, that first town hall, he donated an Emerson Super CQC7, which we auctioned off, made a good bit of money, a nice profit for knife rights. And he's back with more generosity. Stu, it is so greatly appreciated. He donated two knives to the Knife Junkie's Patreon account, so that people who sign up at the $10 per month level, every month there's a knife drawing. The next one will be, where is it? It's across the room. The next one will be a K-bar dog head knife, which is a really cool variation of the K-bar. And then subsequent months will be these two knives that Stu has donated very generously from his Stone and Steel inventory to the podcast. I did have to open them up to inspect them, but I will show you next month, the month of, September, because August will be the K-bar. September will be the new SOG Pentagon XR, complete with the signature SOG first 1/4 inch sharpened. I love that. This knife is really, really nice. It's a full-on XR lock, and SOG is very good at this bar lock that they have adopted from the heralded Benchmade design. You may have heard of it. It's called the Axis lock, but there are a number of locks that kind of imitate that. Hogue is doing a great job. SOG is now doing a great job. So thank you, Stu, for donating this very, very cool knife. I don't know if you know this, but the Pentagon started as a fixed blade with SOG, a fixed blade, double-edged, usually serrated on the back edge and just a straight edge on the front edge, and about that long, about a little less than 4 inches. Boot dagger with a craton handle and a leather sheath. That was a big thing kind of in the late 90s. I remember a good buddy of mine had one of those, used to carry it around all the time. And then they turned it into a folding knife. And then this is the second or third generation of that folding knife. Thank you, Stu. This is about $100 knife. Really, really nice direction for SOG to be going in. Here's the second one, this old sword. Hey, Dave, awesome. My Pentagon. Oh, got my Pentagon last week. Yeah, it's cool. I've always loved the Pentagon knife. I've always thought the folder was really, really cool. That sort of faceted chisel tip, so that just in case like there's a little extra resistance. There you go. Okay, so you can hear this. Oh, hey, Lavender Pants, how you doing? Looks like the nice topic will be right up Alex's beard. Yes, exactly. And it's on my mind too, you know. That's tactical plastic. Hey, James, how you doing, sir? Okay, the second knife that Stu has donated to the cause, to the Patreon monthly knife giveaway. This will be for October. A fantastic and beautiful month. The Tops Eye Stick. It's a 20-pound push dagger. No, it's not 20 pounds, obviously, but it is a big chunk. This, well, dadgummit, I would imagine this might even be bigger than a 1/4 inch. Yes, this is even thicker than a 1/4 inch, this slab of steel. This thing is heavy, but oh my good gracious, this is the kind of knife that you take out a Terminator with. You know, this is something that like this will cross over when you need it. Hey, Ryan, good to have you, sir. I was about to salute with this crazy giant, but look at this beautiful sheath that it comes with. Tops has excellent molded plastic sheaths. I'll call them molded plastic because I don't think it's Kydex. I think it's something ever so slightly stouter, but I love this. the double clip here, because this is wide and broad, and this is a heavy knife, and it's got a wide handle. This thing is really cool. So some lucky gentleman junkie at the $10 level. You got some red liners there. That's not a push dagger. That's a T-handle shovel. You got that right, my man. Look at that. Look at that thing. Well, actually, I think I have it backwards there, like that. So you have a little extra area to push with your thumb. Yes, Dirk. I think a push dagger is in your future, sir. And it is very cleverly named the iStick. Kind of like, sort of like iPod, sort of modern day, but also like, Southern gentleman on a steamship going up the Mississippi gambling and get caught stealing, and then you have to pull this out of your cummerbund. Got to train before lifting that. Yeah, no doubt about that. This thing, this is like, practice your axe drills with this, not necessarily your knife drills. Of course, it comes with the guarantee and the whistle. And so thank you so much, Stu, of Stone and Steel up in Vermont. I really appreciate it. What's up, Alex? He's like, why do you not leave me in the green room longer, sir?
I just popped in out of nowhere.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
So what were you carrying today?
Today I was carrying my Shirogorov Sigma.
Oh, very nice. Do you have that on you? Is that something you can show us?
I actually left it in my car because I took a picture with it for my Instagram, and then I put it in my door pocket because I had a bunch of crap in my
Everybody in Southern California is driving to your neighborhood right now.
Thanks, James.
Happy birthday. I'm sorry, man. I forgot. Happy birthday, Alex.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Alex is a Leo. He's a lion, and lion-hearted indeed. It's good to have you on, sir.
I'm glad to be on. Thank you.
So I sent you a little picture of this earlier.
That's sweet.
I love it. I love it. We're going to get to this in a little while. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the town hall. We had a town hall this last week. We did a week. Jim very cleverly called it a show and sell, which I thought was brilliant because we wanted to do a little show where people could come on and sell knives that they may have been bringing to Blade Show before it was canceled. A couple people did that, and I know a couple of people like Ryan and Edwin both bought 80/20s from a man you may know called Mr. Andrew Demko, and and then we had a couple of others. The gentleman I bought this from was on the show, so it was a great show. It was fun to do, and I'd like to do more of that in the future and have people kind of come on and buy stuff. And
that was super cool, actually. I had something to do in the morning, but I went back and I watched it later. I caught up, and that was really cool to see all those makers back and stuff. And it's really neat to watch that. I like that town hall thing you got going on.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, it's fun, and there are people who keep coming back, and I'm a warmth is growing. I mean, Marianne. I mean, she's such a warm person already, and so it's nice to see her over and over. But other folks too, Andrew Demko. It's cool, and it's fun. I like that. I like having that interaction and having other people come on and interact.
Yep, super cool.
All right, so let me ask you this. Jim, would you bring up the Helmut Yermer designed real steel, real slim, which I find real weird? Do you know this knife? Have you seen this one yet?
I have not, but yeah, I can. Yeah, wow. Yeah, see, like you guys get a first impressions of Alex's Knifebox right on the spot, right?
Yeah, because usually I send you this stuff beforehand. You have a chance to look at what I want to talk about, but I didn't have a chance to do that tonight. But
no, that's fine.
Look at this thing. What do you think?
Well, I would. Okay, so the blade, the blade looks usable, but it's very not attractive. I guess if that's
fugly might be the word.
Yep.
I think that's
the clip looks like a bent Ken Onion design Kershaw clip. I kind of like the way that there's like a little bit of an angle where the lock meets like the front right by the pivot. That's kind of cool. Pivot
That little
colors are
radius
always
there.
fun. Yeah, exactly. The deployment hole looks like it works, but again, it's really ugly. And the blade or the handle shape itself looks, I don't think it's that ergonomic. I think that space or that little finger grooves, those two finger grooves are too separated out.
That's funny. Well, I agree with you, but then you find out it's smaller than it might look. The blade is only, I think it's only 3 inches.
Okay.
But yeah. Ryan says it looks like a porpoise. To me, it looks kind of like a scalpel, but not a cool scalpel.
Right.
The other thing is, but okay, so this is designed as a functional tool that's supposed to be extremely slicey, so it's fully flat ground. That little deployment hole is there so that no stud or thumb plate or anything gets in the way of the slicing. And I respect it. It's also supposed to be like a cross between a Nessmuk, you know, the classic Canadian belt knife, and a what is it? A Nessmuk and a sheep's foot. And I'm like, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's a little weird looking.
Okay, the first thing I thought when I looked at it was, I didn't know what to think. I still don't. But the next thing that came to mind is it's supposed to be this really slim, the real slim, right? But there's no picture of how slim it is. Like, I want to see how slim, like a top view or something, you know? That's what I'm really interested in. Or if there was like a measurement of how thick the handle is. Because, I mean, are we talking like 0.3 inches thick, like really, really thin? VG10 blade.
Yeah, 3.2 inches. And well, the interesting thing to me is if that's 3.2, and yeah, Ryan said, and the dodo bird, if that's a 3.2 inch blade, then that opening hole is way too tiny for you to access with any sort of.
The blade stock is really thin, though. Like, I see Jim's highlighting that, and that is really, really thin. That's probably as extreme as you want to take it. And it's VG10.
Inches. Yeah.
And VG10 is great, man. That stuff is so good. I mean, I think it's gotten, like, because of M390 and all the other super steels that are out and all the craze, it's gotten underplayed. But VG10 is great. I have plenty of knives I've had for years that still cut great. Yeah.
A lot of Spydercos and such.
Yeah.
Lavender
like my
pants.
meerkat.
That's cool. Lavender pants. The blade looks like the profile of an old stingray or viper with a hood that's been stretched. Interesting.
You made that sound really cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a very, very generous read. Spyderco Chaparral thin. Yeah, that's pretty thin. So that was the one knife. VG10 is particularly good when it's thin like that. Yeah,
it's good all the time. I mean, VG10 makes great fixed blades with convex edges too that are thick. So VG10 is just good all around. I mean, it used to be our super steel, but that was before most of us started even collecting, you know.
So, Alex, what are you referring to? Which knife in particular with the thicker VG10 with the convex?
I think there was a couple SOGs that were done that way. And I can't remember. There's a couple Japanese-made fixed blades, really thick ones, that were made in VG10. And there's a couple companies in Europe that use it too. But it works. It's very stainless. Impact resistance, it's okay, but it's cheap. That's why it's good. So, Alex, how have things been out there on the West Coast? Oh, I could say this to both of you now. Hey, Dirk, how you doing, sir?
Oh, come on. There's custom knife talk. I had to join.
Cool. Well,
Happy to see you, man.
Let me ask you guys, what's life like in California right now?
I don't know. I've been stuck indoors, man.
Dude, it's nuts. It's just, let's not even get into politics and crap.
Oh no, I don't want to talk about politics.
You know where I get all my news is I get all my news from Dirk's library. If I want to know what's going on in the world, you guys are laughing, but serious shit. Like the giant hornets, he made a meme about the giant hornets. And I'm like, so I Googled it on my phone. I'm like, holy shit, he's not kidding.
Hey,
I mean, holy crap.
Come on now.
It's like we don't have enough to deal with.
Up
And
here in
then the
Northern
Sahara
California-
winds and the coin
Oh,
shortage.
yeah, that was pretty good.
I was like, my God.
It's been nice where I am in California, says James.
Up here in Northern California, it's been hot. It was about 100 degrees here today, and it's going to be triple digits for about the next 4 or 5 days, they said.
Well, James lives in the nice part of town, you know, like the privileged people. So
yeah, we can't all live in those neighborhoods, but you know, that's okay.
That's why it's nice.
Yeah,
exactly. Because they don't let us in.
Come to my side of LA.
No, I spent 5 years down in the LA area. I'm good.
Well, right now it's crappy, man. Yeah, people driving crazy. Yeah. Everybody knows it's going on everywhere.
Well, wait. Yeah, but you live in downtown Los Angeles. So what exactly are you saying? I used to live in downtown. I used to live in Manhattan for a number of years.
Well, I'm not completely in downtown. I'm about like maybe 10 miles out of downtown LA or 15 miles. But it's just everything got congested again. The traffic's back, right? But everybody's still kind of acting erratic and crazy. And then you got these goofballs wearing a mask while they're driving their car. You know,
that always cracks me up.
I'm like, what do you know? But then again, you know, like I got out of the car. So yesterday, my wife took the day off to take me out because she couldn't take me out today or to take the day off today. And then I get back home, and what's the first thing I do when I park the car and get out of my car to go inside my house? I grab my mask to put it on. I'm like, oh, shit.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
I mean, like this is like what we're turning into, you know?
Well, you know what? Like, you know, there's a social compact. You go into a grocery store, put on your mask. Yes. But when you find yourself outside, and I the same thing for me on Monday, I had something to shoot outside. Since all this hit, we've been shooting all of our shows and stuff inside in a very controlled environment. But it was the first time I went outside. It was hot as hell, but I was still expected to wear that mask. And there are times I turn and be like, you know, and breathe out. So yeah, it's a weird, yeah.
It's a very weird dynamic that we're in right now.
It is indeed. Okay, all right. So I'm going to change this subject and go to birthdays. Alex, is there any sort of birthday present you're buying for yourself, or that you hope to get, or that you would get if things were different right now for your birthday? Happy birthday, Alex.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
You know, I went a little nuts last year, and then I went a little bit nuts probably for the first half of this year.
Oh.
So like I think I'm pretty content. Like I don't need, you know, to want anything extra. I have 2 custom knives that are in the works right now. A couple of handmade customs by some kind of known makers. I don't know. One of them is Laudato Knives from New York. And then the other one is Kurt American, which is an up-and-comer who's making a really cool something, which Dirk's seen a picture of the progress or whatever, which is kind of cool. It's all Westinghouse micarta with Westinghouse pivot colors. And then it's got a really nice shaped blade with, it's going to have a hamon on it. So it's going to look pretty sexy.
Yeah, that one's looking really good.
I know the name, and I know I follow him, but I can't picture. I can't pick out of all the images in my head. That sounds nice, man.
He's really, really, really nice. Like super nice guy. Just a little backstory on him. Like I said, he's an up and comer, and some of like the more well-known makers, or I'm sorry, collectors, are starting to buy his stuff. I've noticed, like some of the guys that buy some of the big stuff. He's right around anywhere between 800 to, I don't know. I mean, I think he said the one that he's making me is probably the craziest one he's done yet. It's probably not the craziest like materials. It's not like any Damascus or anything like that, but it's a bolster lock, which he's never done. And yeah, there's a couple variances to mine from some of the other ones. He's a firefighter that retired and gave it up to become a full-time knife maker. That's a big jump.
Adam Purvis.
Yep. Well, except Adam still works, right?
Oh, does he? He still fights fire.
Oh yeah, big time. And then, but this guy kind of gave up. Probably due to some maybe like family thing. I know he's got a few kids, so you know. And I've had a chance to interact with him. He's just a really genuine human being. He's young. He's a very young knife maker. I think he's in his either early 30s or late 20s or something. So it's a guy to keep an eye out for.
That's cool.
Man, yeah, firefighting is no joke, man. I mean, you see some pretty horrendous things, like you might in a war zone, except it's a different kind of place. I gave my brother a Spyderco shopper. Oh, nice.
Oh, that's a cool one.
Yeah,
I just bought one of those tactile turn bolts. Those things are cool.
What is that?
It's a pen. It's a titanium pen with a bolt action lever on it.
Okay.
And then, you know, you can order a little like Damascus disc on it, you know, or you can order them copper.
What ink does it take? Is it like a Parker Jotter ink, or is it a Fisher Space Pen? Or
I don't recall. It's probably either a Fisher. I know it's a pressurized cartridge, but I don't remember which one.
So, Dirk, sir, welcome. Sorry, I've been remiss in welcoming you officially.
No, it's good. It's Alex's birthday, man, and the highlight of Alex's night is hanging out with you and me. And the rest
exactly.
Where's that orphan that are watching?
It's not the highlight; it's the warm up. What were you carrying today, sir?
Where's that orphan? I don't even care what he's carrying. Bring out the orphan.
That's what I had.
Good gravy.
Okay, so here's the lock side.
Oh man, I love that thing.
And you can see the blade already is kind of wild.
Wow. Dude, Eric Luther is so
beautiful.
good.
It's for work, Judge.
Wow.
Look at that.
And it is so smooth. I mean, it'll chop your finger right off. It's no joke. It's just
that is so you. I love that thing, man.
Dirk, hold it up, and let me see the angle. I like the angle of the handle to the blade. It's kind of a pistol grip. I love that. I love that handle.
Yeah, so when you're holding it, it's just awesome.
It's already doing its work before it shows up.
Yep.
Love
Dude,
it.
and it's Sanmai Damascus too, man. That's so cool.
And it is a Sanmai, so it's pretty cool that in that regard too.
Wait, I get Sanmai, but how is something Sanmai in Damascus?
It's a Damascus layer with a core.
Yep.
Of course. That's pretty rad.
It's really cool.
So do you ever do two? Do you ever do a Sanmai taco shell and a Sanmai?
That's exactly how you do it.
Oh, they're both Sanmai.
Yeah, on both sides.
I'm sorry.
Damascus.
They're both Damascus.
Yeah. And then you got the core of whatever steel you want in the center. If it's Damacore, it's CTS XHP, I think, or something.
Yep.
Always have good steel.
I think that's what this is the XHP.
So I'm sorry, Dirk. Who tell us a little bit about that knife, who made it, and what's the story behind that knife in particular?
Eric Luther makes these. It's custom maker, one-off, hand by hand, one by one.
Where's he out of?
South Carolina, I think it is.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, my buddy bought it brand new, had it made and bought it. He went to sell it. I couldn't grab it at the time, so my other buddy bought it and basically held it for me until I could get it from him.
Nice.
So I had posted pictures of it. My first buddy, who is the original owner, he messaged me and goes, "Dude, do you got that now?" Yeah, I pretty much had it the day after you sold it to him. He just held it for me for a month or two until I could get it from him.
broke it in for you, huh?
It's a very cool community that we have here in the knife world, just in general. You know, becoming great friends with Alex and you, Bob, and all of the other viewers here. I've kind of started talking to a lot of your normal viewers have started chatting with me too. And it's just great. It's a great community that we have. Everybody helps everybody out. We loan stuff around. Alex has some of my stuff right now. Yeah. You've had some of mine. You know, Metal has had some of mine. Neves Knives has had. So, I mean, it just kind of all circles around, and I love it. Well, that's one of the best parts of the community.
That's what I was going to say is that you loaned me, I mean, several thousands of dollars worth of knives in one shipment. Also, Therapeutic Edge loaned me a knife, which I did.
You can have another quick look at it.
Oh,
just, God. Just in case you were missing it.
I do. Yeah, I missed that. Sure. It lived. I never carried it, but it lived right on this little leather pad I have right here.
If I loan you guys stuff, feel free to carry it unless we talk about it. Normally, the stuff that I don't want anybody to carry, I wouldn't necessarily loan out.
Well, for sure. That's right. But I myself don't feel comfortable. Not that I ever lose knives. Last knife I got lost was pickpocketed. I shouldn't even talk about this.
Boy.
I'll forget all about it. Forget I even mentioned it.
Yeah, no, you don't say nothing.
But it was a CRKT. So now I'm okay with it.
Okay. Yeah, just kidding. Yeah, that sucks. I've only lost one knife ever in my life. And
did you ever see the Dr. Frunky video where he talks about how he was in New York City as a tourist, and he went to the Staten Island ferry, nice free way to see the Statue of Liberty and get a ride to Staten Island and back. And they had implemented, I mean, I've been on that thing a million times, but it was a long time ago. And now they implemented a, search for weapons and such. And he had a brand new Recenti Nirvana on him.
I remember this.
And he's stashed it in a planter. And he came back.
It was
gone. And he openly told the story, and opened himself up, made himself vulnerable. And people shat all over him. And I thought that was so unfair. I'm like, this guy's telling a story where he's opening up, do we not all bungle things? And that, you're in that situation. You're with a group of people. I have to.
What are you going to do?
The apartment because I got my knife. Like, what, dude?
Yeah, it's a struggle, though. I've gone to, baseball games or things like that, and you're getting close to it and you see them screening everybody. I'm like, I gotta run back to the car. And my girlfriend or my sister I was with, they're like, what? I'll catch up with you. I got my ticket. I'll just meet you inside. I gotta run back to the car. And then you run up 3 blocks in San Francisco to put your stuff in the car, and then you hustle back down. It's a pain in the ass, but that's what we do.
Well, this actually, hey Joe, this kind of sounds like a knife confession.
Hey guys,
that Dirk is.
Yep. Sorry, I didn't mean to take your thunder there, Whisperer, but every once in a while, you got to run back to your car and empty your pockets before you go to an event. I try to plan ahead, but you don't know.
Don't worry, the Knife Whisperer loves you.
Oh boy,
how you doing, man?
I'm good. You guys?
Good, man.
What were you carrying around today?
Good. Oh, the heat seeker here.
Oh yeah.
My lighting.
Look at that.
That's a really cool knife.
Joe, I'm betting if you turned around 180 degrees, your lighting would be 180 degrees better.
And rotated your phone.
Yeah. Turn around, because if you do, I think we'll get light on the knife. That is a Tashi, obviously.
That is much better lighting. And then rotate your phone. Are you on your phone?
There we go. Yep.
There you go. Now we're talking.
That looks good, man.
Look at that.
Look at that knife.
There we go.
That is beautiful.
That's nice.
Look at that flipper.
Yeah.
That's the Riot made one, right?
It is.
Yeah, look like it. Yep.
Yeah, the
it's
mass drop.
No flip it.
Like it.
That's a really cool knife. Beautiful lines.
Yeah,
Rob,
this is the one I've been waiting for.
First time because of Alex. Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
Sorry, Joe. What were you saying, man?
It's been 7 weeks I was waiting on this from Drop.
Oh wow,
crazy.
7 weeks. Wow.
After I made sure it was in stock, and they told me it'd be mailed right out. So
what they meant were all the parts are in stock in China.
Right. It's
That's where
some
it came from.
assembly
It came from-
required, and yeah.
Yeah, I think they put in the order to re-out after I ordered it.
You got it. So quit complaining.
Yeah, I know. First world problems, right?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
So what do you think of this, Joe? Today, one of the knives I was carrying around was this cheap little Victorinox fruit knife with a Kydex sheath I made for it. This is for self-defense. This is for
Dude, that is so cool. So Jim posted that. I said that's cool, but he posted that comment late. I was referring not to the attention to detail, although that's a cool knife too. That is so cool.
Yeah. Well,
that is so cool.
It is very inexpensive, and it will have. Hey, Tier 1, good to see you, sir. It will be ever more relevant on Sunday. The Ed Calderon interview is coming out on Sunday, and this is something that I got from him, and I love this whole idea of the Kydex snagging on the pocket. It's kind of wave-like. You pull it out, and well, he had an interesting. We were talking a bit about karambits versus a karambit, which is essentially like that, and a pikal, which is essentially like that. And he was saying people are always saying karambits are in nature everywhere. It's like a claw, it's like a talon. But he's like you never see a cat grabbing things like this.
Right.
They grab like this. They're stabbing and pulling, and if you're close, that's what you're going to be doing. So to me, that captured my imagination. Obviously, I have no real pressing need to work this out and get it in my pocket right away, but I did just because it's kind of fun and cool. Dark Gravity, it was mailed from their international warehouse. Yeah, right. So, Joe, it looks like your yacht was mailed from their international warehouse on Mars, but it's getting quicker. It's good. Things are getting quicker.
Everywhere. Yeah. They couldn't get any slower. Well, I guess they could, but
yeah. I wouldn't go that far. So guys, I want to show you this. I mentioned it before, but now I'm going to mention it more. This is my second custom folder, and this is by Attention to Detail, Mercantile, Douglas Esposito. This is a design that to me is very kind of retro looking, at modern retro, and that micarta inlay just pushed me over the edge. I had to own that.
That's beautiful.
It looks like a Strider handle,
Awesome.
but better.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's got elements
thicker.
of that.
it does.
I would say, like an Arius blade on a Strider handle.
Kind of.
He does this. So it's a hollow grind. He does one with a hollow grind. He calls it his high and tight. It's a hollow grind that comes almost all the way up, and it looks super cool. And I'm sure it's very slicey and keen. This is very keen. It does have some of the break-in things of, like I said before, a Praetorian or like I had a Strider before that was new several years back, and that took a while to get really smooth and nice. And I feel like this is kind of on the same sort of trajectory.
I love how you left the lock bar all polished out too. That's freaking awesome looking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really that's a good one.
That's so Marine Corps of him too, the high and tight.
Yes. I love that. I love that aspect of it.
For those who don't know what that is, that's the Marine Corps haircut. Like there's a certain height requirement.
Yep.
So yeah, I know all about the high and tight. I hated the high and tight.
Dude,
I just shaved my whole head.
I had the high and tight in ROTC in high school.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that one too. Then I got out of school and I just started shaving my head all the way. So
that's the easiest haircut to maintain ever. Except when you're out in the sun.
It's not great in the sun, and it's not great when I go out like camping or something where you can't shave. Then it starts to grow out, and you got like the Velcro hair for a few days. That doesn't work so well. But
Tier 1 says he's impressed with what he's seen. He's been hearing good stuff about. So the first attention to detail I got was 2 years ago. It was also a birthday knife justification, and it was this double-edged fighter.
Oh wow!
In the medium, and had him put that edge on the back. This is ordinarily just a bayonet grind, but if you request it, you can get it double edged. But those are both hollow grind, and
Nice.
I requested tortoiseshell because hey, I'm a classy guy. But look, he also put those copper liners in there, which I think is just
it's
sumptuous to me. You know,
Yes,
I love this thing,
and the
That's
jimping
sexy.
is done really nicely too.
it really is. It's
Look how it
grippy enough.
continues into the handle. That's so cool.
Yeah. And he's a really nice guy. I met him at the Monkey Muster a couple of years ago out in Arizona. So, yeah, we just chatted for a little bit and stuff. And he had some great stuff in this display case there. And just a heck of a nice guy.
Yeah, really nice guy. And he's got a when I picked up that fixed blade, I went to his he's about 45 minutes from me here in Virginia. And he's got a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Muay Thai school, and it's awesome. I mean, it was a really cool space, and then his workshop is in the back, so it's kind of a dream setup. It's like, you know. And then I get on my motorcycle. Hey, Ryan, how you doing, sir?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up?
Every time,
Ryan.
everyone is surprised. Good to have you, sir.
What do you got? Oh boy.
So, Pete.
All right, well, we can all go home now. Spirited one.
So this
Thanks, guys.
this is a ProTech
That's the Malibu.
ProTech Custom Malibu with mother pearl presentation grade inlays, Chad Nichols Damascus, a 3D mill pocket clip, and orange peel textured all full titanium with a carbon fiber backspacer.
Nice.
Put it up real close so
mother
we
of
can see
God.
the texture of that side. Can you put it a little closer?
Oh, there's some milling on the clip and stuff too. That's great.
They nailed the
beautiful.
thing. And so I was kind of like, you know, what makes this a custom for ProTech? You know, what are the differences besides I know that you did, you know, mother of pearl inlays and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, there's texturing to the, you know, titanium, and the normal one's aluminum as it is. And this one being, you know, titanium and orange peeled and stuff. How much is done by hand and what's done by CNC? And I got the most awesome email back from ProTech about this. And they went into detail for each piece, you know, what was done by hand versus not. So like they said, you know, the titanium handle slabs themselves, right, were CNC milled first, but then they were just slabs at that point, and then they hand sanded to do, you know, through the full 3D contouring, you know, of the scales themselves, so that you can see that they're fully, you know, contoured on each side.
Right.
So, you know, they did that part by hand. All the inlay work is by hand. Then they have to do, you know, obviously the texturing, you know, the orange peel by hand and stuff. Same thing with like this seamless carbon fiber backspacer on here. It's totally seamless.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
So yeah, I mean, I was fully expecting it was going to be good, but I thought it would be like Benchmade Gold class good. You know what I mean? And this is a different level than that for sure.
They're like, this mother of pearl was taken from the very shell which spawned Venus several thousand years back. You're like, okay, I'll take it. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. Cool. I love that mother of pearl, man.
Yeah.
Wait, can you? I'm sorry. Can you open it up and hold the blade so we can see just the pattern of the steel?
Yeah, beautiful.
Well, it's cool to have the waviness with the pearl. It's and then you have the blue handle. It is pretty aquatic themed.
Is that like a ladder pattern?
Ripple effect of the orange peel, you know, on the titanium. It has like a ripple kind of orange peel.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks like waves.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, it looks like a ladder pattern, right? Ladder pattern Damascus.
Yeah, this is Chad Nichols laddered.
Yep.
And, you know, the only mark that says ProTech is right there on the spine. It just says ProTech.
No, that's perfect.
I knew that because I watch a lot of Fortune Fire.
Ladder pattern. Yep. But it's a cool talking point, and you guys hit on a really important thing a little bit earlier in talking about how great the community is, and whether it's customs, not customs, whatever. I just met up with Jared Neve today, and hung out, bought him lunch and some beers, talked knives,
Yes.
and he brought out his knife roll, and I had one of my knife boxes, and I let him go home with one of my Mayos and two of my Terzwola customs, so he could check out for his channel and review and handle and stuff like that. And it's just, that's how, that's what it's all about. Like, it's about, if people don't have something and they want to check it out, like, by all means,
Oh,
and
for
that's how
sure.
the community is. So.
I mean, I've loaned stuff out, and anybody that wants to borrow, not anybody, but normal people,
Yeah.
I'll loan pretty much anything too. And
I want to borrow that bicycle that's right behind you right now.
Oh, dude. I don't know. That's a custom bike, too.
Dude, look at the flames on that baby, man. That looks fast.
Alex.
Yeah, that's custom painted, and it's a handmade custom frame out of Canada and all that too. But
yeah, it looks rad.
I just met up with Therapeutic Edge and Women Carry Knives on Saturday night here in Napa. I mean, I live in Napa. They live in Northern California as well. But I had shipped them some stuff to borrow to check out, and he didn't want to ship it back to me. So he goes, "Hey, we'll just drive up and we'll grab something to eat." So we hung out for a bit. It was great. I think we were there for like 2 or 3 hours, just hanging out, chatting. And I brought a Pelican case of knives, and he brought a knife roll, and we had them out on the table, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I think we got some weird eyeballs from people at other tables sitting next to us.
Hey, what's your name, sweetie?
That's with all the social distancing, nobody was too close to see her. I mean, we weren't really bothering people.
That's Sammy.
Hi, Sammy.
She cutie pie, man.
Thanks.
All right, everyone can resume their regular language now. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we try to keep it clean for you here on YouTube. So
no, but I agree with you about the community. Just people being generous and generous with their trust. Loaning you things. Hey, Lindy Lou, I've been paying attention to your Instagram channel, Lindy Lou. You've got mad skills. I think Alex, you had something done by her, right? Or oh no, Ryan did. I'm sorry, Andrew. Hey, Ryan, what's up? But not only that, but now I'm starting to see the value in knowing the makers and such. And you guys talk about that a lot, being custom knife connoisseurs and such. And it really does mean a lot. And as someone who has done a lot of artwork and went to art school and stuff, I can recognize the effort that's gone into something like this.
Right.
And some of it's it might not perform out of the box like a Wii does, but eventually it will. I mean, if any of my experience means anything, I can ascertain pretty much right away that it's going to be awesome and smooth. You're welcome. And so I mean, having that personal connection and feeling the handwork that went into something is cool, whether it's machine made or handmade, but the customness.
Yep.
Caleb says, I got my first actual custom folder today, Kirby Lambert Snap, a Kirby Lambert.
That's a cool knife.
Nice.
Been the most mid-text like the Orbit. I love Kirby Lambert. And on the chopping block, I have a Kirby Lambert designed Riot. I love this knife, but kind of got to make up. What's that?
It's a Crossroads?
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe's like, I'm all over it. That's it.
I mean, this
It's
is
a sweet knife, though.
Yeah.
Get in touch with me if you're interested. They did.
Joe, you need it.
Yeah,
Joe,
that's
you
all
need
I
it.
do, Joe.
I do need it.
Dude, look at that.
I need a lot of
titanium bolsters. My card. Look at that blade shape.
Look
too.
at how thinly ground and hollow and beautiful.
Riot, man.
That blade shape. That is Riot for you, but it's also Kirby Lambert design. Oh, that's an older one, isn't it?
That today too. Yeah, 2018.
Is that partially sharpened up the swedge?
It is, yes, right in here.
Oh God.
It's the spear point.
That's beautiful, man.
And it's cool. It's the bronze stonewash. It is.
Alex, you have a SOCOM
action.
custom, don't you?
What?
Don't you have a custom SOCOM?
Yeah,
too?
I got one.
It's
I don't
mirrored.
have one to pull out. Sorry, I can't compete now.
Wow.
I have one, but it's
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
up
sorry
there.
to say, but I think my SOCOM is and this is just to me, my own opinion, but I have the ultimate SOCOM.
Yours is
Is
pretty
it
nice.
mirror polished with abalone?
Exactly.
It's Mokume.
Oh, that's
That's
what it was.
Yeah. I love that knife.
I think
I made Mark buy that
this is
and then I bought it off of him. $200 less too. It was great.
Yeah, sure.
Nice.
You know, you brought up a
this is
point.
probably the
Bob.
ultimate production SOCOM.
You brought up a good point a second ago, Bob, in that you were talking about, you know, how you become friends and you know, with the makers, and how you kind of recognize, once you own something from a maker, you can kind of recognize their art form. And you know, going back to the main topic of this evening, which is what's the appeal of customs, right? Like, I think there are a lot of things that appeal about customs. Probably the biggest thing that appeals to, at least to me, is the fact that you're able to develop relationships and friendships, just like we're talking about, you know, how great and generous and wonderful a lot of this community is. Granted, will always be bad apples. You know, and it only takes a few to spoil the bunch. So, you know, we always have to be cognizant of that. But these makers, I think, and Alex, you probably have developed some great relationships, and Dirk, you probably have too, with a lot of these makers. And, you know, it makes you want their work even more and appreciate it when you have it even more.
Well,
It's made
me care even. I can not care less, but it's made me overlook things about certain knives more if I like the maker. Like, that's a big thing. I've gotten to the point where I know, like, there's a huge appeal for customs. I'm actually kind of falling out or taking a break from customs. I've been actually buying a lot of production stuff for a while because I've tried a little bit of everything from like Shiros and collabs and handmade customs and stuff like that. And, you know, at this point, like, I think, like, for me, my thing, like, a lot of people like the machine stuff. I've been more of a hand kind of custom kind of guy. Like, yeah, I always bring this thing out, but I mean, it's still one of my favorites is this one from Casey Middleton. And
Beautiful.
This is actually a special knife because it was my first custom build. That I bought custom knives before this, but this was the first time that I interacted with a maker, and I said, hey, can you make me this? And he made it exactly the way I wanted. He didn't like try to change anything or.
So it's a Damasteel blade, Zerk accessories, and superconductor bolsters with seal.
Well, it's a bolstered frame lock, so it's got a zirconium pocket clip.
Okay.
It's got this really kind of weird toxic finish on the frame here. Yeah. It's a Damasteel pattern, a Grossman Damasteel pattern that he ordered by accident. It was the wrong pattern, so he had this billet laying around. I'm like, let's make a new blade for my knife. Yep. And then he used lightning strike carbon fiber for the thumb studs, and then for the scales, which it's like a copper lightning strike to go with the superconductor bolster on one side. Yeah. It's got a superconductor floating backspacer too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So that's another piece, right? Like, you can express your own art form through somebody else's work. Right. Like, you have input, you know, of what you think you'll like and enjoy. You could tell it to a maker and let their art form meet your curiosity. You know?
Well, I'm more tolerant than most people, though. If you talk to makers that I usually interact with, I want their artistic expression into the knife. So, like, if I say, hey, you know, I want to use Mokume and flat titanium or whatever, and then the guy's like, I'm not using Mokume. That stuff's too soft. It scratches easily. I don't want to deal with it. I'm like, okay, what else do you have? And we start building like kind of a project together from scratch. Like, for example, like Fernando Medina didn't have any billets at the time for Damascus. So I ordered a billet and had it sent to him. I ordered the Westinghouse. I had it sent to him. So like you work together, you collaborate, you get, you know, sometimes even like I have materials in my closet of carbon fibers and such that I haven't even used yet that are going to go to a knife someday, you know.
I saw your post on Instagram
Jim,
with some of those materials.
Jim, can you put that last comment up from Ryan C? He had an interesting question asking, show me the customs you bought from a new maker that exceeded your expectations. Any of you
I love that question.
Like that? Yeah,
that's my thing right there.
Alex,
I love that.
So why is it your thing?
How new is new?
Well, wait, hang on. But before you dig out those knives and decide what that means, Alex, why is that your thing? What did you mean by that exactly?
I get excited by unknown and new makers because I'm tired of seeing the same things all the time on YouTube, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm tired of the hype. Like, you know, every time I post this damn thing, everybody's bugging me about buying it, right? So like, I mean, it's a sweet knife, but it's
but I'm not spending $2,000, so no.
$2,000?
That's what they're going for now.
Is dumb. I'm sorry. It's a great knife.
It's a great knife, but
awesome, but it's not a $2,000 knife.
It's great for $800.
But it doesn't have like personality.
That's all it is. And that's nothing against the Holtz. I think it's a fantastic knife, but it's an $800-900 knife.
Yes.
So, okay. James Moore says Skiff exceeded my expectations.
Mine too.
Ryan, what are you holding up? And does that exceed? Is that new? No, you brought that out last week. What is that?
This is
overrated.
I agree.
This is a Jared Ozer.
Okay.
That's also an overrated knife for me. That guy.
I don't know. I think I'm pretty impressed. I mean, Jonas Iglesias would be another one.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I mean, he's been around since 2015. He's pretty new on the scene, and he's made a huge splash, and for great reason.
Yeah,
this thing is freaking flawless, but it's entirely made by hand, and he slays it.
Not underrated in my humble opinion.
I met him down at the California Custom Show, I think 2 years ago. Hung out with him and Walter Randolph and a bunch of guys who went to dinner and stuff. And yeah, he is really a great up-and-comer for sure.
Absolutely.
Ed Cope is another one. He won Best New Knife Maker at Blade in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Look for the podcast coming out on
he's actually really cool too.
Yeah, look at that. That's a beauty.
He's super active in his group on Facebook. Ed Cope. It's nice, man.
That is my favorite of the Ed Cope designs. I love that knife. He's also a total stud, like flying test piloting helicopters and doing skydiving and stuff.
He was an Army Ranger.
It's cool cool stuff. Not that I can jump too far into this conversation because I don't have many customs, but this guy, man, I love this. If you're into like the hard use, that like to me this sits between my Les George and my Strider and my Hinderer, and like it's kind of in that realm. Ed Cope will be on episode 140. That's where it is, August 23rd. Thank you, Jim.
That's
great.
Awesome.
We had a very interesting conversation. Actually, Ryan, you're the one who inspired me to reach out to him.
That's great.
Yeah.
He's an A+ kind of dude who deserves all the success he gets.
Andrew says Cody Usler's work blew my mind. The Duck has become my favorite knife I've ever handled. Is that the little? I'm thinking of the little neck knife, but I don't know.
No.
No. Okay.
The Duck and the Duckling are his two main models. The Duckling is a smaller version, is a 3-inch version. The Duckling is like a 3.4-inch version or 3.5. And the Duck stands for Daily Utility Knife. Is what Duck stands for. And he's out of the Ozarks, and he's young. He's in his early 20s, 22, maybe 23. He's still getting even better day by day on his hand grind work and stuff, and his fitment and finish. He's pretty consistent. I would say I've had 3 of his pieces, and they're awesome. Not the best communicator, which you'll find that happens. A lot of great knife makers are like great chefs. A lot of great chefs don't necessarily run the best business for a restaurant,
Right.
but they might be the best chef in the world. So there's a lot of that in the knife making community where they might not be the best business people, but they sure make a damn good knife.
Exactly.
And
Stay in the back and do your thing.
I might go so far as to say that if you don't learn, because I hate that shit too. It's taken me a long time to get good, and I'm not even saying I'm good at a good communicator or corresponder, but man, there's a certain very basic level you have to get to if you're going to ask people to spend a lot of money on anything, and knives are no exception. The Duck is like the perfect medium Sebenza with insane. Oh, I know. I think I know.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's very Sebenza-ish.
It is,
but fancier.
Let me show you. Let me show you guys a knife my brother got me for my birthday. It came early, and I just want to show this. This is an original Fairbairn Sykes.
Wow.
Commando knife.
Nice.
And when I say original, I don't know its exact lineage, and I have to figure this out. It's got a blade. It's got a tang stamp or a pommel stamp that says WD on this, and the very, very dry rotted and dying sheath. He made a little presentation box, which is pretty cool. It's my brother. But the reason I think that this is real, and I've handled a lot of fakes, the reason I think this is real is that the blade is actually razor sharp and super thin all the way to the tip, and the blade is bent. And I've heard of a lot of original Fairbairn Sykes having bent blades because they're so thin.
Right.
It's thinly ground all the way. I mean, this is razor sharp, even at the tip on both sides. And, most
like a warp in a heat treat or something,
I think it was a bend that may have happened.
No, yeah, I think somebody used that thing
later. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a bend from trying to take it out of someone's ribs, but
you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And actually, there's a very cool video. Yeah, there's a very cool video on YouTube where it's this old British guy in some war museum, and he's got his beret on, and he's talking about the days during World War II, and he's like, you don't come up and do this, when you're taking out a sentry. You come up and you take the Fairbairn. He has one of these, and you push it in the neck, and then you punch forward like that. I'm like, oh God,
that is correct. That is correct, actually.
Right through both carotids, through the trachea, man.
Yeah, he's like, and he's a very classy English gentleman. He's like, it's a nasty bit of business.
Oh yeah, of course.
So Andrew had a good point a second ago in the comments, Bob.
Yeah,
he said that he was talking about Cody Utzler about his communication getting better. That he at least responded to him. He's young, but he matures, and that's the thing too, right? Like some of these guys, this is a new venture for them. Right now, maybe all they know is knife making, but something that they will clearly learn is there's more to it.
Yes,
if they're because you're a one-man operation if you're a knife maker and selling stuff,
Yeah, but just because you're young doesn't mean you can't do it right. Look at Nick from NCC.
I don't disagree, but you only know what you know, and he probably doesn't know,
And he will most likely learn if he wants to succeed. He's got the hard part down, which is making the damn knives, right?
Right.
Hey, David, good to have you, sir.
I'm not making excuses for people who have poor business practices. Because look, I mean, I had multiple of his pieces, and I let them go because the guy never responded to me when I had one issue. I was just like, forget it. So, he's going to learn through his mistakes. I'm not saying that that's right.
Right. And I agree. And I've turned away from people because they are poor communicators.
It happens.
And it happens. If you have a problem with your knife and it's tough to get a hold of them, or you send it in and then you have to beg them to send it back and fix it, and they have it for months and months and months, it turns you off. You may get it back, but then you may sell it, and you may not continue to work with that custom maker or even that retailer. If you have a bad experience with retailer X, you may just go to retailer Y after that.
Yeah.
You know,
And I
same
think
difference.
for general population, that's a fair point too, in that, you know, they can trust, they know what they're going to get if they're dealing with a production manufacturer,
Mhm.
right? They know what they're going to get. You may
Yep.
not know what your experience is going to be like or what you're going to get if you're dealing with an individual, you
Correct.
know?
You don't know.
And so, you know, that's part of the kind of non-appeal. But as bad as that can possibly go for you, it could be the reverse, and it could be one of the great experiences, and now you have a lifelong friend or whatever.
And
So
I think we've all
Well,
had both.
Look at the knives I just loaned Joe, the mechanics. Those things were like $400, or like the big one was like $485 or $450, something like that, and then the little one was like $395 with ZDI Damascus and carbon plate. I mean,
those were nice, very
it
nice.
seems to me that if you're a knife purveyor or a custom knife maker and you get any sort of traction whatsoever in a crowded market like this knife market, you need to be on your game like as quickly as you possibly can muster yourself, because you'll get buried underneath by the next one, because there are a lot of people who know computers well, and there are a lot of people who can design things in CAD and then get those translated immediately into amazing knives by Riyadh or whomever. So I mean, you know, if you're breaking through at all, man, be on top of your communication. Don't even give yourself an excuse.
That's the thing I was gonna say about mechanic knives is, so when I originally ordered those knives, I just kind of ordered it on a whim because I had never heard of them. Nobody I knew had ever heard of them. But I saw the pictures and the knives looked really nice. So I hit him up and I said, hey, you know, you have some nice looking stuff. Can you give me any quotes on pricing? Like, here's a picture of one that I liked. How much was this one, right? And so he's in Russia. He got back to me within, I don't know, half a day, like that same day. And then he's like, I will contact you. It's like super proper English, because I think he's using a translator. He's like, I will contact you in 3 months. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I will contact you. And no, he said in 2 months, and we'll discuss your build. He literally to the day contacted me 2 months later to discuss the build.
Wow.
So then he asked me what I wanted. We got the materials. I said S125, some fancy carbon fiber. He's like, this will take me another 25 days to get this. I said, okay. So he literally 27 days later, I'm like, he's 2 days late.
Yeah, you failed.
He was so punctual. I was checking.
Right?
That's awesome.
And then, you know, like clockwork, he's like, all right, your knife will be done in a month. I said, okay, fine, whatever. I'm like, I'll talk to you in a couple months, 2-3 months,
Right.
whatever. In a month, he's like, your knife is ready to ship. Please send me money. I'm like, wow, okay.
You know, people that have longevity in this business, think about like Bob Terzwola. I'll use as an example, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had an issue with a new ATCF custom that I bought from Bob where it had some lock slip and it had a lock failure, right? And so I hit him up on Instagram. He said, ship it to me. And he had it on his bench the same day it landed, and he got it sent back out the same day it got to him. You know, and that's how important it was. And that's Bob T. Like, he's been at this forever.
Yeah.
But that level of service and attentiveness is so important when you're talking about at least, you know, high ticket dollar items. And, you know, that's why some of the new makers, like I mentioned, Jonas Iglesias, why he will be a runaway success, because he has that same level of attentiveness right out of the gate.
Yep.
He is winning design work and winning custom work. And if you get all of those things together, plus he's doing like, you know, he's done at least 3 donated knife builds to good causes, where people, you know, buy into lottos or whatever as, you know, nonprofit kind of stuff. So you do that kind of stuff, and man, you're following, it'll take you to a whole nother place.
Well,
Yeah.
you know something there too. It's the service. So things are going to happen. You're going to have lock stick. You're going to have a lock fail. I mean, it shouldn't happen, but things happen. And it's how do you handle that? Do you say, sure, send it in, we'll take care of it, and then you do take care of it in a day or, a couple days, a week? That's fine. Not 6 months later. Like, that's what kills you. That just turns everybody off. Things are going to happen, and it's just, how do you handle it?
Because the money's already gone from the customer's hand, so they want their product. Like, their hard-earned money's gone. It's like, if you keep them stringing along, and I think that's where Gareth Bull is having a lot of issues.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still selling knives, so he doesn't care.
Hey, for him, it's been a consistent problem for him, right? And he's not the only one.
But he doesn't care because nobody cares. His lottos fill up instantly. Like he will never not sell a knife.
Never say never, sir. I mean, they're not that exciting. I mean, they're not that compelling. I've never touched it, and I'm not judging it. I'm sure if I had it in hand, I'd be like, oh my God, this is a revelation. But I mean, it's not like
I have one.
Yeah, Ryan knows all about those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's.
I mean,
it is. I mean, it's beautiful and it's nice, and I'm sure it's beautifully built, but it's not so exceptional that any amount of bad business practices is going to make it that interesting. I mean, like, it does kind of look like there are other knives that might be able to fill that void if this individual doesn't get his ducks in a row.
Well, there are, like, that Cosi Steam Camp that I have is kind of, it's a fraction of the price of that thing, but it's nice, and there are other options, but again, Gareth Bull knives, Ryan can put that thing on and in probably like 20-30 minutes it'll be sold, and that's being generous on time.
Now, everything I just said, I love the Mura. I think it is an absolutely beautiful knife. The Mura, to me, is way.
That's a Bob Terzola. That's his Bob Terzola design.
Okay,
yeah,
so I was going to say
that's him paying homage to Bob Terzola.
Okay, so maybe I just like Bob T's knives.
But I had 3 of these, but I sold 2 because, to be quite frank, like, I don't like to support his methodology, and he's not a great communicator. He's never responded to anything I've talked. I've tried to say hello and how much I dig these, when's the next batch coming, whatever, and not radio silence. And to me, it's like I'm not gonna sit there with $4,000 invested in this guy and in these pieces, and
but he's probably at the same time, he's probably got 1 million messages in his inbox with the exact same thing.
So that's a valid point.
Like, I try to give these guys a break.
Stays high on them.
Oh, the secondary.
As long as the secondary stays high.
But you know what? I got better. I have a custom chamois myself. I have a custom sham. The Shamwiri.
Nice.
Stasified.
Nick did that. That's beautiful.
Look how great of a job he did.
Serious skills, man. Look at that.
Look how beautiful Nick's
work is. He does really good work.
And he even, I had him bronze the backspacer and do kind of a splash, and then we did it on the disc too.
There you go. Cool.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nick's so awesome, man. He was so nice. Every time he's like, dude, I'll redo it. I swear, if you don't like it. I'm like, dude, it looks awesome. He's like, no, I'll redo it. I promise. I'm like, no. And he put it all back together for me. It's like, it's better than when I sent it out. I mean, yeah, Stas is the man. And when I posted this on Facebook, there's quite a few people that liked it. I got like 5 p.m., 6 p.m.s that day of people who did that. I want to do that to mine. So it's probably going to be a few
Lindy
of
Lou
them
does
out
really
there.
good work too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Custom makers also have I call it the hype train, right? And the train goes around the tracks.
Yep.
And right now it's stopped at like Richard Rogers and Holt and Jason Guthrie Scouts, right? Are probably 3 that it's stuck on right now. But that rotates because Shamwaris were just there, and now they're kind of falling off the train, and and the prices are starting to dip, and then the other stuff is going up. So if you
I'll finally get a Shamwari then maybe.
What's that?
I said I'll finally be able to afford a chamois now.
Yeah, eventually you will be. And I mean, but that happened to the Norsemen. It happened to Hinderers. It's happened to, all kinds of stuff.
Well, Norsemen didn't go down that much. I mean, they're still like used, maybe like $850 for a used Norseman.
But when they were
new, they're $925.
They were selling new for $750. Secondary market at one point was $1,200.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Ryan, hold up that Christensen KnifeWorks knife. I always the Misfit. Hold that thing up.
That guy's really cool too, man. That's a guy I want to build from too.
So
I wish my lighting was better, man. It's just hard to see that. My card is so good with the Zerk underlays.
So we were supposed to talk this Monday, but where he is, I guess he's in Illinois or in Indiana, Illinois.
Yeah, he's in Crete, Illinois.
They experienced a bit of a tornado there, so
yeah, we had no power for 3 days here.
Yeah. So hopefully we will be talking soon. But man, that knife to me is spectacular. Andrew actually earlier, Andrew Toole much earlier mentioned Nova blades, and something about this knife reminds me a little bit of Nova.
Well, I think Matt Christensen helped train Steve.
Oh,
same thing with Scott Hansen. He helped train Scott Hansen. Matt Christensen. I think he's done a lot of people that help study under him or whatever you want to call it.
So Rob C says Jason Guthrie's customer service has been unbelievable. I sent a knife back to South Africa and came back with 2 others. He was excellent in communication. Have you guys been talking about Jason Guthrie is bad at communicating, or who was it?
No, Jason,
okay.
Stand up, level 11, classy dude.
Yeah,
That's
Jason
cool.
Jason Guthrie's like the opposite of Gareth Bull.
Yeah.
He's like the epitome of customer service and love.
Yep,
That's
big
cool.
fan.
Yeah, I have an amazing story and experience with my Scout that I have, and that's a knife I just can't separate with. Just because it's like that was another relationship, kind of long awaited thing going, and so those knives are special to me. Like when I feel like a little connected to the maker in some way. Like it was a fun experience.
And so let me ask on another South African maker, Bradley Marai, who's making unbelievably cool stuff under his, like, as an homage to Jason Guthrie. And Jason just moved to Norway with his family. Yep. So he'll be back to making knives here in a little bit because he's supposed to make me a gun stock model. So at some point I got to get him back in his workshop.
Yeah, a gun stock like a traditional shop. Well, when you say a gun stock model, you mean a traditional gun stock?
It's a new take on a gun stock model. Yeah. So, but he uses new age materials. It's a liner lock model that he does, and it's his newest model. It does have a pocket clip though, so it's kind of new meets old. But he does a beautiful Harpoon Wharncliffe blade on it, and
Harpoon Wharncliffe.
Yeah. It's
all right.
It's cool.
Let me ask you guys before we get to the knife fight tonight. Do any of you have any new knives you want to show off right here in our forum?
I'll show one thing.
Yeah, let's see it.
So this thing is actually really cool. I saw TJ Fisher. He has a little like a younger girl. I don't know. She looked. I think she's in her 20s or teens or something, like in a little apprentice that comes over to the shop and made this little neck knife, and he helped kind of finish off and do all the final bevels. Cool. So it's a little TJ Fisher neck knife, a little custom neck knife, and it's got the initials engraved up top. And
that's beautiful, man.
I never carried a neck knife before, and this one I like the size of it and everything. The color is pastel, so it's kind of curly, but
dude, it goes with your shirt, man.
Exactly.
No, this is American, man.
Alex, you're manly enough to wear pastels, brother.
I can wear pastel.
It's all about the attitude.
I could wear a pastel.
Yeah,
totally. The only thing I do have to do though, I have to change this to a breakaway. I don't ever trust that. I don't like those where somebody can,
Yeah.
So, but there's a lure to buying stuff from custom makers just for the simple purpose that that those custom makers are bringing in apprentices to be the next custom makers.
Yeah.
It's awesome that Jason Guthrie took Bradley Mariah under his wing, and then he moved and Bradley took over his shop and is now making badass stuff and filling a year's worth of his books coming in as the next maker.
Yep.
Cool.
I'm on his books too.
That's
actually
awesome.
Yep. So I thought that was cool. It's the same thing with this. Like, I mean, do I really need another knife? But I like the little story behind it. You know, it was like $100.
Do any of us need another knife?
Well,
I'm glad you bought that, Alex, because I was a few minutes away from just picking it up myself.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you took it instead.
so David says he wants a custom Fultz minimalist.
That's cool.
That I've been carrying. You know, I've had I have 3 different CRKT minimalists from over the years, and before I got the current Bastinelli diagnostic I carry behind my work ID, I always had a little minimalist. They're so small, they kind of just hide away. No one knows what the hell it is, and it's perfect to have just tucked under there, as long as you don't have to go through like a metal detector at work. And great little knife, handy as hell, and little 3-finger, that tiny little grip, but with the choils, it fits so nicely.
Yeah, that's what he did with this thing too. It's like a 2.5-finger handle, like the way he did it.
Oh, nice. And you got that little cord there that adds a little bit of gription.
Right.
Yep. Nice, man.
And then you got the cord to grip onto. So yeah, it's really handy. I've actually already like pulled it out a couple times to use it, and I'm like, this is cool. I didn't know neck knives were going to be fun to carry, but I guess it is.
Hey, you guys ready for a knife fight?
Sure.
Who wants to do it?
Let's
Who
do
wants
it.
to fight? Tonight, the knife fight is custom knives, handmade versus machine made. And we all know what that means, machine made. There's also custom finishing, hand finishing, and all that. But we all know what we're talking about. It's that versus the Old Dominion. Yeah, right. And Ryan, yours is all hand? What is that? Is that hand?
Yeah, this was a CK, yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyone want to volunteer, or should I assign it?
You assign it, Bob.
All right.
You assign.
Ryan and Alex.
Shit.
Alex, you're taking machine made, and I'm sorry, Ryan, you're taking machine made, and Alex, you're taking handmade.
Okay.
How's that
It's
sound?
machine made, but a machine made custom is a whole other. All right,
You know what I mean. I mean, like parts made on a CNC and then finished
Like a
by
Spectre,
hand.
man. Like a Spectre.
Yeah, like a Spectre versus something all hand cut out.
Let's do this.
All right,
Oh, man. I'm a
right,
lover, not a fighter, man.
Shall we flip a coin? Hang on. Let me see. Do I have any? Of course, I don't have any coin. Hey.
I never wanted to get in a knife fight with Alex.
All right, Alex. You
I
go
lose
first.
I lose all knife fights. You guys see? Come on. I don't even like.
Alex,
I'm
you're first. Handmade.
Handmade.
Yeah.
Me first.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Since
Okay.
you're on top over there.
So, oh yeah, I'm supposed to address all of you. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of the forum. I'm glad you all made it today so we can discuss this important issue. And it's an issue because I think it's a problem infecting our new knife collecting generation that are enjoying these, what they like to call a custom knife, but it's not really custom, because to me, custom means it's customer. So the customer tells you what they want and you get back what you asked for. So this instead is just a machine kind of ground knife, and it's very pretty, it's very precise and very sleek and sexy, but it doesn't have a whole lot of personality. Now for me, a custom knife, something that really just kind of belongs to you, something you can pick out your own materials, something you develop a relationship with the knife maker, not something you're going to just win on a lottery and it's hot off the press and that's all you get, but something with class, something with your own touch, as well as the custom knife maker, and as well as, you know, just a little bit more of collectability, perhaps. So I say to you, why get a hand stamped knife when you can get a hand custom made knife?
Nicely done, sir.
Very well done.
And right on time.
Bravo.
Yes. And I liked when you brought up class, because class plays into it. Is it classy enough?
Right.
Right. All right, Ryan.
All right, Ryan.
All right, so I am a firm believer that we have moved past the age of just doing everything by hand, because the tolerances that can be provided by CNC equipment remove the ability to make mistakes and add a level of precision and instrumentation behind the manufacture of blades that and handles that we would otherwise not necessarily be able to even have if it had to be handmade. And I'll use one example. In this Resenti, this is a custom, obviously a full custom, Peter Resenti, but this is an integral. And this integral handle design, where it's one piece of billeted titanium, would not have been able to be produced if it wasn't for the ability of CNC work to be able to do that. Now, granted, there are embellishments to this handle because there are custom rock patterning and the like in here. But if it wasn't for CNC mills to be able to be used to do this, we wouldn't have this as for instance as an option. The same thing goes for a lot of more people being able to get their hands on stuff. So you brought up a Holt earlier, right? And
15 seconds.
Want those, but might not be able to get them if they weren't using CNC machines that were able to produce, let's say, 10 times, the number or more than a handmade custom would be able to produce. So they're able to sell something for $750 where it would normally be a whole lot more expensive if it had to be made entirely by hand.
Good. Very good.
All right.
Very good. But the ironic thing is nobody can get a Holt. So
it may as well be handmade.
But not a great analogy.
See, I thought you both had very good points. I thought
Ryan had great points.
I think Alex's point was about the soul of the knife. You buy a
I agree with entirely.
Handmade
but
knife.
I know Ryan's on my side, so for him to have to argue on machine is like, that's a tough one.
And Ryan, you spoke of the reproducibility of perfection, and I think you both had
price. He's right.
Says,
he made a good point about price. That's a huge point. He's actually right about that.
Yeah,
because if you think of the time,
it'd be $1,500. It could be half the cost.
Yeah.
Think about the time that it took him to make like pivot collars, bolsters, all that by hand, right? This thing got a day. The whole knife is probably made,
Wow, it's a pretty split crowd here between Alex.
But there's a 50-50 world. Like I brought up this Resenti. There's a 50-50 world that exists.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where he uses a CNC to make a design better. Right. But yet still has very much hand ground blades, hand shaped blades, and finish work on the knife. So, I think there's room for using CNC work in the custom arena.
Absolutely.
I just think it's all on the customer on what he wants. Because honestly, if my bolster has like a little tiny gap or something like that, it doesn't really like prick me the wrong way too much, depending on how it is, of course. If it's a sharp edge and it's cutting my finger, then yeah. But like it all depends on what's important to who, because for me, honestly, I have some custom knives that, for lack of better words, are sloppy, but I love them.
No, that's true. They do have an artisan's soul in them, and there's no question about it.
As long as they function, function 100%, there's nothing weird about them. If there's just a little quirk or a little imperfection, it's personality to me. I like it.
But I could never hang on to my Holts that I had or my Ariuses that I've had. I've tried like so many of them. And to me, when they're fully CNC produced like that, they just lack a soul.
Leaves you cold.
A little bit. It leaves me wanting more.
Yeah.
But some people are looking for custom, like the warmth feeling of micarta and like, the the roundness of hand contouring and belts and stuff. And then some people just like this high-tech stuff, you know, integrated detent and, you know, this action that like, you know, like basically like sucks itself in, right? And I like that too.
Luckily, the knife world has room for both.
Yeah,
exactly.
Neither is wrong. They're both right. It's personal preference. There's enough of a variety out there that if you hate brand X, no problem. There's a whole bunch of different brands or makers. You know, you don't. Don't get bent out of shape if somebody doesn't like this maker, that maker, the other maker. It's fine.
We have a plethora of choices today.
Absolutely.
I feel like maybe putting too much emphasis on things like action, and this is something we're not going to discuss tonight. We'll bring this up later.
Oh, I love that action talk, man. I can go all day.
When we start talking about action and fall shuttiness and all that stuff, even lock stick and such, it starts to you have to wonder: are we talking about form or content? Are we just talking about superficial, or are we talking about the capabilities? And I don't know. I mean, I lock stick makes me bristle just as much as the next guy, but in truth, it does make for a more secure lockup.
It does.
You know? So
a little grab is good.
Yep,
that's what Demko says.
Yeah,
Demko loves it.
So eventually,
a little bit is fine. If it takes two hands or a freaking pry bar to unlock it, that's a problem.
And Dirk probably knows a lot, because a lot of those huge overbuilt knives, lock stick is actually like more of a thing with those.
Well, there's more
more surface area.
More surface contact for sure.
Yeah, there's more surface contact for galling of titanium against a lock face.
Yep.
All right, guys. So let's.
I wasn't fighting, but thanks.
I agree. Dirk.
Let's go around the room as we close out the evening, as it is. It's getting late over here on the East Coast, and I'm just getting tired. So let me ask you, Joe. What do you got to say? What do you got to say for yourself, Joe?
I want a confession, actually.
Yeah, let's get a confession.
I always want a confession, man. Come on.
All right. Confession is I love you guys. And you make me feel all warm and fuzzy.
But a confession
and,
no, wait. The confession is a secret. You still express that all the time. So we love you too.
Yeah.
We need a knife confession, man.
So we'll come to you so you have a moment to gather your thoughts. So we'll come back to you, because it's nothing like being put on the spot. So I'm going to put you on the spot, Alex.
You got to put him on the spot, man. This is you get the better answer.
I want some brilliance when we get back to Joe. So Alex, we'll start with you, sir.
Oh God.
Any final words for you?
Final
words. That sounds so dark.
My final words for tonight are: I can't wait till 2020 is over.
Jesus Christ, no kidding.
But I'm so glad I've met all of you.
Oh man, likewise, my friend. Likewise.
Yes.
Dirk, what about you, sir? Any thoughts for the evening?
Just thanks for letting me come on. Happy birthday to Alex again, my good friend. That we've never met, but still we're very good friends, and that just goes back to the community. And it's all about relationships. My YouTube channel is about relationships. My goofy memes and everything. It's all about making people laugh, getting, the interaction with the public and the people, and building those relationships.
Yeah, I talk to like Dirk every day.
Cool.
Yeah, we talk all the time. It's kind of funny. You just, here's some random guy that we ran into at some, YouTube thing, and all of a sudden now we're fast friends, and I'm shipping a bunch of stuff to some guy I never met before.
Yeah.
And the same thing back to me too. So it's just, again, a great community, and I'm all about the relationships. I don't have a lot of friends in real world, so the subscribers and stuff, that's what makes me feel good. So, click the subscribe button, send a comment, help out myself team, because that's it. I don't have a lot of friends. I have my YouTube followers, my Instagram followers.
We need to get Dirk over too. He's already almost over 2K, so
getting there.
Everybody sub, and I'm doing 1,000 subscriber giveaway, so I'm gonna give away something cool. So I'm 942. So as soon as it rolls over 1,000, the next video will give you guys instructions.
It's fun. That's hilarious to me because you guys are all like rock star level to me. I'm like, so it's funny to hear that
that I don't have any subscribers.
I mean, like, not that that means anything, but to me, like, you guys are the first word.
Well, no, here's the thing though. Like, I post like my last post. It'll tell you right there. It says 3 weeks ago is the last time I made a video.
Hey, man, you know, everyone gets
really great knife though.
Yeah, you know, but yeah, I don't run out of knives that way, guys. You know, my knife box like rolls slowly.
I start to run out.
Yeah. How about you, Ryan? Any words for the evening to close out?
You know, I'm glad to be a part of the community. It's you know, I consider everybody here a friend, and you know, and the chats are always fun, and it's a great way to spend a little downtime and unwind from, you know, real life a little bit, and just talk about something we all enjoy and a hobby that we share. My Instagram is @SpiritedBlades, and I you know,
why'd you change it to Spirited Blades, man? I love spirited whiskey.
That's whiskey and lifestyle stuff.
I wanted to do spirited whiskey for whiskey and me and family and stuff. I guess I could have kept it for knives, but I figured the two kind of interlapped, or they were separated, I should say. So I wanted to just have, you know, blade stuff on one, and anyway.
It's just weird because I've known you for a while as Spirited Whiskey,
and it's Spirited Blades, depending on what kind of stuff you want to see. But I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to being a dad for the first time.
Yes.
I'm really, really excited about that. Nice. And I'm, you know, really just grateful that my wife is healthy, and for sure, but that my wife is healthy and the baby's healthy, and I'm blessed with a great community and a great family, and that's that.
And look for Ryan's baby coming out in November. Right? That sounds terrible, but you know what I mean. Like,
late November. Yeah,
right around Thanksgiving.
You know, like Simba and the Lion.
Yeah, all of this will be yours. All of those knives will be yours, child. Joe, final words and a confession, sir. Final words. I got to come up with something better because that sounds like we're about to put you to death. So, just how
final
about a confession?
Cut? The final cut.
Oh yeah. Good album.
The final cut is I don't know if you guys noticed, but my wife's been like crawling behind me the whole show here.
She's like, "Are you done with your nerdy friends? Come on, honey."
Yeah, no, her friends text her, be like, "Oh, you should walk by naked." I was like, "Do it." So there's my confession. And then I don't know. I guess I just want to say thank you to all of you guys for all your help. Alex, thank you for sending me those knives, and you know, Bob for letting me on here, and for the exposure, and all the new stuff, and I look forward to expanding, you know, and let's see if we can raise this up, boys.
Yeah,
always take sharp for an answer.
That's right. Always take sharp for an answer. You know what's cool about all you guys is that everyone's got a different take. And different interests, different areas, different different rabbit holes they like to go down with knives and stuff. And to see everybody's different videos and pictures and feeds and such, and to see what people get into, to me, that's the most exciting because that exposes me to things that I've never seen before. And, you know, that leads you to great places. So anyway, I think that's it for tonight. That's it for this Thursday Night Knives. I want to thank Ryan, Spirited Blades. I want to thank Joe, the Knife Whisperer. I want to thank Dirk Werning and Alex Tissot of Alex's Knifebox. Guys, thanks for coming on. It's always a pleasure to have the stimulating conversation. And I also want to thank Jim, who's doing his magic behind the switcher, as always.
And guys, there's going to be no Thursday Night Knives on August 20th.
Thank you. That's right. No Thursday Night.
Thanks, Alex.
Good PSA, buddy.
A week from tonight, Jim's back there like, we should hire Alex instead.
Dude, Jim is so good back there. I saw us moving around.
He's on, man.
He's good.
Jim is absolutely on fire.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you, James. All right, guys. So in the name of all of these fine folks, I'm here to say, don't take dull for an answer. Good night, people.